Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, both Ethereum and Bitcoin are playing out significant breakouts on these larger timeframes, which we have not seen in a very long time. So I'll be talking more about that later in the video. Definitely watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a quick update on the US stock market. This right here is the Nasdaq 100 index on the daily time frame, and so far today, we've seen the stock market open up below yesterday's daily candle close. But throughout the trading day so far, we have seen some buying pressure kick in, pushing stocks a little higher than today's candle open. And so at least as of right now, this shorter term bullish relief in the stock market is still currently active. And obviously, like I've been talking about over the last 2 weeks, this is off the back of this bullish divergence, which, as I said around 2 weeks ago, right down here, this simply means we're due to see reduced bearish momentum, which usually plays out in the form of a shorter term bullish relief or some choppy sideways price action, just basically reduced downside price action. And so while the stock market is in this bullish relief, we are also seeing a bullish relief for the crypto market, as we can clearly see on this Bitcoin chart on the daily time frame. Over the last 1 to 2 days, we have seen a lot more bullish price action compared to what we've been seeing over the last 1 month or so. But something important happened right here on the daily Bitcoin chart over the last 1 day, which is of course the daily Bitcoin RSI finally breaking out to the upside, obviously breaking out from this symmetrical triangle pattern. And so technically speaking, this is a bullish confirmation signal on the daily time frame, which has been confirmed with 1 daily candle close so far, telling us that we are finally leaving this choppy sideways price range that we've been in, especially over the last 1 to 2 weeks, and we're potentially beginning a new trend here on the daily Bitcoin chart, simply based on the RSI confirming a breakout, and also the price action, technically speaking, has now made a higher high on the daily time frame. And over the last 1 month or so, we have seen some higher lows, whether you're looking at these lows, looking at the candle closes, or if you're looking at the candle wicks. Either way, we technically have at least 1 higher low and now 1 higher high on the daily Bitcoin chart. And we're finally beginning to see more momentum show up in the daily Bitcoin MACD, because obviously, as I've been saying over the last 1 week or so, this MACD indicator on the daily time frame has been extremely flat, which basically means we have almost no momentum, which usually results in more choppy sideways price action. But now we're seeing a spike of momentum to the upside, which is just another bullish confirmation signal on this daily Bitcoin chart. And now what is really interesting to see is if you zoom all the way out to the 3-day Bitcoin chart, right now we are potentially seeing a breakout to the upside from this massive falling wedge pattern that has been forming for nearly half a year. And on top of that, we are also seeing the 3-day Bitcoin RSI finally break out above this massive descending line of resistance, which has been holding down the 3-day Bitcoin RSI ever since the beginning of last year. So for nearly 2 years now, this has been strong resistance for the 3-day Bitcoin RSI until right now. And so this is definitely a significant signal to pay attention to on the 3-day Bitcoin chart. But it is important to mention that as of right now, this has technically not been confirmed, because we still need to wait to see a 3-day candle close. And the next 3-day candle close is in roughly around 1 day and 10 hours from now at the time of recording this video. And so in roughly around 1.5 days from now, when we see that next 3-day candle close, if the candle closes above around $20,000 per Bitcoin, then that would essentially confirm this breakout in both the price action and the 3-day Bitcoin RSI. And in case you're wondering, the last time we saw a breakout this significant on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, that was all the way back towards the middle of last year, which was of course the last time we saw a falling wedge pattern visible on the 3-day Bitcoin chart. And that was also the last time we had a significant bullish divergence on the 3-day Bitcoin chart, with obviously the price action forming lower lows in the candle closes, but the RSI on the 3-day time frame forming higher lows, as it has been also forming over the last few months. But obviously, it is important to understand that just because we have a similar pattern breaking right now to what we saw in the middle of last year, that doesn't mean the price of Bitcoin is just about to break all-time highs in a few months from now, like what we saw last year. Because obviously, even though we have some similarities on the chart right now to what we saw in the middle of last year, we also have a lot of differences factors, fundamentally speaking, and talking about the macro, because, for example, we did not have quantitative tightening and the Federal Reserve hiking interest rates throughout this time period last year, although that is happening at the moment. And so even if this signal confirms in around 1.5 days from now with that next 3-day candle close, I would not be expecting the exact same outcome from what we saw in the middle of last year, although even though that's the case, this would still technically be a bullish signal, a very bullish signal on the larger timeframes. So I would still be expecting mostly bullish price action for a while longer, just not necessarily the exact same outcome from what we saw in the middle of last year. And now, in case you're wondering about the technical price targets for this falling wedge pattern, the initial technical price target to the upside for this falling wedge pattern, if we see that confirmation in 1.5 days from now, would be sitting at around $28,000 per Bitcoin. And the full technical price target for a falling wedge pattern is simply the top of the wedge, which is sitting at roughly around $30,000 per Bitcoin. And so once again, those will be the technical price targets on the chart if we see that confirmation signal for this breakout in around 1.5 days from now. But anyway, zooming into the 8-hour Bitcoin chart, and right now we can clearly see this breakout from this symmetrical triangle pattern is playing out perfectly. And in fact, as of right now, at the time of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is pretty much halfway between the breakout point and this technical price target for this symmetrical triangle pattern, which, by the way, this technical price target is sitting at roughly around $23,000 per Bitcoin, as I mentioned on this channel all the way down here when the price was at around 19,000. And so obviously a big congrats to those of you who actually took this trade after watching my videos over the last few days talking about this breakout to the upside. But for those of you who are still not quite sure on how to actually trade and make a lot of profit from a move like this, then stick around to the end of this video to find out more. But anyway, zooming into the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, and right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is currently running into the golden pocket level of resistance, which is sitting at roughly around 20.9k to 21k. And this is of course happening just after the price of Bitcoin broke through this line of resistance, which was sitting at around 20.3k. And now that should be acting as some shorter term support if we see a bit of a rejection from 21k. And so as of right now, the short term support levels that I'm currently watching are once again at around 20.3k, 19.8k, and around 19.1k. And as for resistance levels, once again, we have some immediate short-term resistance at roughly around $21,000 per Bitcoin as of recording this video. And above that level, if we see a breakout above 21k, then the next resistance I'll be watching is sitting at around 21.7k. And above that, I'll be looking closer towards around 22.7 to 22.8k based on this local high back here. But something important to pay attention to right now in the shorter term is, of course, the 4-hour Bitcoin price oscillators. First of all, the 4-hour Bitcoin MACD, as of right now, is finally showing a lot more bullish momentum. And so obviously, this is a bullish confirmation signal in the shorter term. But as of right now, the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI is well into overbought territories, which basically means the price of Bitcoin just in the short term is getting too overheated as of right now. And basically, we're due to see a bit of a short-term cool-off to help reset the RSI. And that short-term cool-off, by the way, can either play out in the form of some sideways price action or a slight pullback are the most common scenarios. Just basically reduced upside price action in the shorter term to help reset the RSI, which can give us some more room to the upside later on. But if you're wondering whether we're looking more bullish or more bearish at the moment, as of right now, overall, we are clearly looking more bullish than bearish in terms of the short-term trend at the moment. It's just in the imminent short term, we are getting a little bit too overheated, which basically means at some point in the imminent short term, we could be due to see a bit of a pause within this short-term uptrend. But anyway, getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is the daily Ethereum to US dollar chart. And right now, we are finally seeing a significant breakout to the upside for the price of ETH on the daily time frame. And this breakout to the upside has already been confirmed with a daily candle close above 1.4k. And once again, as I mentioned in my last video, I said that if we end up seeing a confirmed breakout above 1.4k, then that would be a significant bullish signal on this daily time frame, which would basically be pointing towards more of a trend reversal into a bit more of a bullish trend on the daily time frame if we see that confirmed break above 1.4k, which we have obviously seen since my last last video. And if you want to potentially compare this to some other previous price action, we saw something somewhat similar back in around July this year, because obviously we saw a massive dump throughout June this year into what was looking like a bear flag pattern. But then as soon as we saw a confirmed breakout above the resistance line for that potential bear flag, that was immediately a bullish confirmation signal as soon as we got that confirmed break with the daily candle close, which was signaling more of a trend reversal into more of a bullish trend. And so once again, we're seeing a similar signal at the moment on the daily time frame to what we saw back then. And now if you're looking at the daily Ethereum price oscillators, starting off with the daily Ethereum MACD, we are finally seeing a more bullish momentum in this indicator compared to what we've seen obviously over the last 1 month. We've been lacking a lot of momentum over the last 1 month until the last 1 day or so. We've finally seen a spike in momentum to the upside, which is somewhat similar to what we saw back in around July once again. And now if you're looking at the daily Ethereum RSI, this is currently entering into overbought territories as of recording this video, which is technically a signal telling us that we're getting a little bit too overheated at the moment, and we could be due to see a bit of a cool off sometime soon. And once again, that is pretty similar to what we saw back here in around July, because obviously as we saw this breakout to the upside, we saw the daily Ethereum RSI briefly touch overbought territories, and basically as that was happening, we saw the price action pause its upwards movement for a little bit to help reset the RSI and basically give us some more room to the upside later on. And so simply based on the signals that we're seeing at the moment on the daily Ethereum charts, we are potentially beginning a bit more of a bullish trend, more of a bullish reversal, something similar to what we saw back here. But with that being said, if you're talking about the more shorter term relative to the daily time frame, as in what we could be expecting over the next few days, we are technically due to see a bit of a cool off, which usually plays out in the form of choppy sideways price action or a slight pullback to help reset this daily Ethereum RSI, which could potentially give us some more room to the upside later on, once again like what we saw back in July. But anyway, zooming into the shorter term, taking a look at the 4-hour Ethereum to US dollar chart, right now as of recording this video, the price of ETH is currently trading slightly above this golden pocket level of resistance, which is sitting at around 1550 approximately. And so basically if we end up seeing a successful 4-hour candle close above this golden pocket at around 1550, and ideally if we could also see a retest flipping this level into new support again, then this would obviously be a bullish confirmation signal telling us that the price of ETH is likely going to head up towards this next level of resistance, which is the 78.6% Fibonacci level, and that is sitting at around 1650 for the next resistance level to the upside. And anything above that level, then I'll be looking closer towards around 1790 approximately at this local high, close to 1.8k. And as for support, in the immediate short term, we could find a bit of support at around 1550, around that golden pocket once again. But if the price of ETH starts breaking back below the golden pocket, then that would be a shorter term bearish signal telling us that we're seeing a bit of a short term cool off, which is actually what is needed for the 4-hour Ethereum RSI. And as I also discussed earlier for the daily Ethereum RSI and the 4-hour Bitcoin RSI. But anyway, in that case, if we see a bit of a cool off below this golden pocket, then the support levels to the downside I'll be watching are sitting at around 1470 to 1480, and below that I'll be looking towards around 1400. And now if you want to know how you can maximize your profits in crypto during a massive volatile move like this, even if you're sleeping, you can catch this trade if you simply know the right strategies. And if you want to know those strategies and how to trade these moves, then check out these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left of your screen shows you how you can make profit from moves like this on the chart, a volatile move to the upside or to the downside, and the video in the bottom left shows you how to make money in a choppy sideways price range. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.